This is Warren Pond. You'll find it adjacent to the Tarn Pond on the Elsted to Putnam Road. It's a long narrow venue, approximately 4 acres in size. The average depth is around 2.5 foot across the whole lake. You will find the odd shallower section, but generally it's quite a silty water. We have opened up an extra couple of swims on the venue, so we have 10 swims on here now. Now the access has been made a little bit more easier for people. It is starting to see some more guys coming down here and actually wetting the line now. It's all single bank fishing, so you do have from this side of the venue right way across to the tree line opposite. This is generally a mixed species water. The carp in the water is pretty much an unknown stock. We estimate around 50 to 100 fish. The fish in here are almost prehistoric. They're old, wildy looking fish. They're long, they're thin, they're dark. You're not going to see much bigger in here than a mid-20, although it may throw up the odd surprise down the line. The bream fishing in here is brilliant. You will catch a lot of bream in here, 20 to 30 bream in a day, or even just in an afternoon if you're quite a competent angler. A feeder tends to be the best tactic on a quiver tip. Plenty of ground bait or crumb feeder. Small pellets, sweet corn, maggots, even chopped worm will catch you an awful lot of bream out here. The bream, 6-7 pound. You may find the odd double figure fish in here, but that tends to be the average 6 or 7. There tends to be a smattering of tench, not too many. We do have the odd crucian. There's a lot of roach and rudd in here, so sport on that can be quite good. There is a few eels kicking around as well, up to about the 5 pound range. And for pike fishing, this can do very well as a pike venue. Being that it's a small water and we only have 10 swims, there is a night ticket system operating, so please check your handbook. Parking up in the Warren car park, walk down towards the Tarn Pond, over the dam, and you'll find the gate on the left hand side. Please shut the gate behind you, as public aren't allowed on this particular venue. First swim you come to is peg 1. You've got the down wall to fish up against. You've got the cottage opposite you where the fish tend to cruise around that sort of cottage area, so a distance chuck will put you in amongst fish. To be honest, on that high bank you've got a good view of that lake, so you will see where the fish are kicking up seal and where they're cruising around. Peg 2 tends to be a little bit narrower as the lake narrows up the further you go up the lake. It's still quite a large swim. You can easily get a bivvy in here for an overnight. You've got a lot of the trees opposite that are worth putting a bait in. With the amount of trees around this venue, the silt has really built up over the years, but that doesn't seem to put the fish off. So my advice would be fish as light as you can get away with. As you come into peg 3, you're probably about halfway up the lake by now. A lot of the swims have now been extended so that you have got room to stick a bivvy for an overnight or even a brolly system. And for general pleasure fishing, you've got plenty of room for all your tackle now. As you come into peg 4, it's a little bit of a smaller swim, but actually the lake's really starting to narrow up now. So the distance chuck isn't necessarily needed in here. If you see where the fish are feeding, just drop a little lead on them, a few pouchfuls of bait, don't be too heavy at times. This is peg 5. Peg 5 is quite close to peg 4, so you do tend to sort of share a little bit of that tree line at the back. Bream fishing can work really well here as a pair. If one's in 4 and 5, you can feed the same sort of spot up and get a big shoal of bream moving in on you. Peg 6 is a night priority swim. We do have a few on here that are night priority. Again, being a bit sort of narrow up this end of the lake, you really don't need to be casting out far. And actually, a lot of the fish can come quite close into the bank. Peg 7, you'll see that you've got a lot of the bushes in front of you where the carp and the bream show themselves quite readily. Peg 8 isn't too far from peg 7, so if you're here with a mate, it's quite a nice little quick overnighter. Peg 8 is quite a tight little swim, so okay if you've got a little brolly system, just a couple of rods. Sometimes on this venue, when the wind blows, the fish will follow it, they will move around a lot, but the fish tend to spread themselves about quite nicely. This is Peg 9. It tends to be a bit narrower now as you're starting to come around the top corner of the lake. Some roach and rudd fishing in here can be quite good because you can see the shoals of fish moving around. This is Peg 10. Very narrow, very shallow section of the lake. A pellet approach in here can work very well for a quick afternoon. Just fire a few pellets out. Even single rod fishing, it's very much a stalking swim. From Peg 10, you can't go any further up the lake. That's about the ½ acre of lake that we're not allowed access, so please don't even walk up there. Warren Pond is open all year round. When you shut that gate behind you, this is the most quiet venue the club has. You forget the rest of the world behind you as you close that gate.